This is a picture perfect.
It's Guatemalan. Yeah. He's not from here.
He should not be saying he has a right to be out there. He doesn't know he needs help. We have to give him that.
Now, progressive policies say that it would be wrong to intervene in a man's life when he is spiraling out of control, because doing so would take away his right to...
No. Nice try, though, buddy. Nice try. Progressive policies suggest that we should intervene in a way that isn't fucking putting them in jail. That's what progressive policy suggests. There is no progressive policy that suggests we should do nothing. That doesn't exist. That's the conservative policy.
Self-determination and the pursuit of happiness as he sees fit. And for a long time, various leaders of New York have treated the subway as just another public space and have made people feel bad about their desire to see people who are there and are obviously in distress.
Well, he's gonna die then? Yeah, no, I mean, like, if you want to look at it and say, like, well, it's a battle royale, that's fine. Okay, sure. But, like, whenever this guy gets stabbed and beaten up and then he's dead the next day, then, you know, that's kind of on you because you let that happen. Like, you know, you let the, yeah, that's just how it is. It's free will. Yeah, no, for sure. Well,
hey, Asmon, when was the last time that a homeless person got stabbed and beaten in New York and left to die? Or are we still talking about Patrick Bateman? Because I think we're still talking about Patrick Bateman again.
Also,
I mean, that woman who set on fire, that woman wasn't homeless. He's claiming that leaving people homeless in the street makes them more susceptible to abuse and attacks and murder, which is true. But he's over abusing this narrative to suggest that we need to jail them. Also, doing nothing in this instance would be better than destroying their tents and arresting them. Yeah. The thing is, or not even liberal policy, leftist policy doesn't suggest that. Leftist policy suggests we should help them with, like, housing first. She was sleeping on the subway. Do you know how many times I've slept on the subway? Everybody fell asleep on the subway. Everyone fell asleep on the subway. The other thing that no one ever points out is the fact that, like, what's like a violent crime per capita states? Hold up, I'm trying to find a half decent source on this. Homicide rates for the year 2022. I believe this is per capita. Coming in at number 1. I guess, like, DC isn't a state, so DC is here. I don't know. But coming in at number 1 on states, Louisiana, then New Mexico, then South Carolina, then Alabama, Arkansas, Missouri, Alaska, Tennessee, Maryland, Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Mississippi, Virginia, Michigan, Nevada, Arizona, Kentucky, Texas, Oklahoma, Colorado, Indiana, Ohio, California, Wisconsin, Washington, Florida, Delaware, Kansas, West Virginia, Montana, Oregon, South Dakota, and at 35 is New York. It's almost like highlighting one random instance of a homicide in New York doesn't mean that the city's violence is significantly higher than other cities. You don't highlight one and say, clearly the crime is out of control, when most of these other fucking cities are having school shootings at their malls every other week because they don't want to fucking ban guns. Like, it's so crazy to me. It's so insane to me. But Patrick Bateman was in New York, though, Denim. No, the big cities, they're so scary. They're so scary. What is this? What is it? Don't ban guns. You don't even know what a receiver is. You have no clue what makes a gun a gun. Oh my god. You're so right, Shawcott. Dude, you know everything about me and all of my life skills and everything I've ever done. Do you live in my walls? You don't even know how often I shoot guns. You don't even know if I own a gun. You're just making shit up. It's like the rightoid strategy. Just make shit up, dude. It's just crazy to me. It's so insane. You just make shit up and pretend like it's real. This chatter too. Murders happen every day. Yes, ban guns so the people can be helpless. You are stupid for that. Guys, you got me, dude. I won't recover. How can I recover? No. No, I'm stupid. No. Oh, fuck. Damn it. Darn it. No, it's gonna play out just like in the movies where the good guy has the gun and then he beats the bad guy with the gun. That's exactly what happened in real life, which is why in Uvalde all the cops went in to stop that guy. Because when the good guy has the gun, he uses it to help the people. You want to sell me a bridge? Okay. It's just a poopy brain, dude. I just have no... Oh my god. It's just so good. It's so good. Oh my god, dude. Oh. Oh my god.
Maybe this is a Stu ID question, but do you like Asmon's sweater?
No, I think that the pale green is not a good Christmas color. I don't think it's a good Christmas color, to be honest. Oh my god, this chatter is still going. Don't worry, you're definitely gonna be right, dude. Just keep typing. Just keep typing. It's good. It's good. You gotta first start with what you know, right? You will never make it to the right laws. I call these magazine laws Tommy gun laws. Like people pulling out circle racks and shooting it up. Ha 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 ha! What the fuck are you talking about? Nobody was talking about magazine laws. Literally no one here was talking about magazine laws. Is he talking to himself? I think he might be typing in the wrong chat. I have no, man, I think I think that might be a Joker chatter, guys. I am gonna be honest, dude. Oh, man. Man. Denims, do you write laws? Yes, I do. I write all of the laws. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sorry, okay, last one. Sorry. This is toxic femininity just right here. This is my desire to feed into girl bullying. It's not good, and you shouldn't be like me. All right. But you will never make it. What are you talking about? Where am I making it? Make it where? What are you I don't know what you're talking about. America will not be talking about any gun laws. None here. Nope. 2K here? Question mark. Hey, this conversation is over. You're the one still talking, dude. You're the one still typing in here. Oh, God. All right. Okay. Oh, my God. All right. And for the final message of the day on this guy, and then we're going to finish this video. You are so funny. Nice 1K viewers. You are so cringe. You are sitting there fake laughing for an hour. And the only thing you can say is I missed a P. LOL, you are 12. Why are you watching 12-year-old girls on the internet? FBI? FBI? FBI. Chat, you can play with your food. Feel free to, you know, feel free to pet the pet in chat. Oh, God. All right, back to the video.
The thing is, too, that when you just rage on Christmas, I mean, I'm not really mad about, like, I'm not mad. I honestly, I think this is just sad, right? It's sad. And, you know, those people that are fake statement as fuck, yeah, attacking progressives, yeah, it's outrageous. The sad thing is society won't care. That's libertarian, not progressive. Sure, but people are going to have whatever opinion.
In some way, something that would also make America's largest public transit network safer and more usable for those who pay to use it. On top of that, a public transit network is not designed as a living quarters for anybody. And at present, state lawmakers are considering the Supportive Interventions Act, which would say that a person in need of medical or psychiatric care can be forcibly removed from the streets. But the only terrifying thing about this is it would be the government who determines who needs a psychiatric evaluation, and that's not going to sit right with everybody. And in the future, what if an act like that is abused? However, proponents...
Oh, I think it's the right solution. It is. It's the right it's not a...
Proponent of small government says, actually, I think we should have big government, because in this instance, it's good. And all of the other instances, I think it's good.
a good solution, but it's the best solution that creates the least friction. It definitely will have negative outcomes, but it will create positive outcomes at a higher ratio than anything else.
Of these ideas say that current laws and policies, which do allow for involuntary commitment, don't give the police the tools they need to help those who are now in distress, and who also may not have the agency to understand the effect their choices have on their very lives. However, as you're about to see, there's another cost associated with allowing the subway to be run in this manner, and if the city doesn't do something about it soon, things down here might get even worse.
Yeah, no, I think it's just going to keep getting worse if you let it happen. The government allows it, go figure. Yeah, the utilitarian perspective. No, see, like, I never have any problem to do something that's, like, bad if I think it's the best solution. Like, there are, like, a lot of solutions are not, like, clean. Like, there's very rarely something that, like, you can do that solves a problem with no friction and no collateral damage.
Do you remember what I was saying earlier, chat? That, like, you have to understand, in order to be, like, this rotted on, like, right-wing policy, you genuinely don't think that the most empathetic policy, that genuinely caring about homeless people and genuinely caring about their well-being, also happens to be the best financial decision for a city. It's like, it's too outlandish when you build your entire policy or your entire, like, worldview around, no, cruelty is how we fix things. It's very sad because, like, it's just not
Listening
true.
To this man speak makes me lose brain cells.
Yes, yes. Squishy, thank you for the Prime. Addie, thank you for the 4 months. Stern, thank you for the 14 months. Stuff, thank you for the 9 months. Derple, thank you for the Prime. And Gino, thank you for the 16 months. Oh.
And like any system, it's a trade-off, right? It's obviously a trade-off. And so, no one say final. Morals is objective. I mean, like, well, you just try to make the best decision for the most people, right? I mean, I don't know. I think it's super easy to think about, right? Super, super easy to think about. Yeah.
So behind me, we've got a small business. There's a vending machine around the corner here, a couple of ATMs. There are signs of life down here that kind of bring the subway back almost 20 years ago when you used to have all kinds of stores and shops in this environment. A lot of those, however, have not been able to make it. And really, it should be...
I like how he doesn't provide any proof that this is happening because of homeless people. Surely COVID has had no impact. Surely COVID had no impact on businesses continuing to operate well. Like, it's just, guys, shark attacks go up as people eat more ice cream. The ice cream must be attracting the sharks. That's what we're doing. Like, that's what we're doing here right now. That's literally what we're doing here right now. You can't point at something happening and then say I think it's because of homeless people.
No surprise why a business might find it tough to operate in a high crime environment. That is a visual humanitarian disaster that the city is.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to set up a shop in the middle of the set of Walking Dead. Fucking obviously. Especially then when the zombies come in and they start eating the food. Yeah. No shit. Of course they're leaving.
Not tending to.
Sad-looking storefronts here underground where you could once grab a slice, a newspaper, or a coffee. Of 195 retail spaces in the subway system, only 52 of them are open for business. A vacancy rate of nearly 75%.
So apparently
that affects the whole economy.
I'm going to be honest with you. The reason why I've never walked into one of those shops is because the subways are fucking hot as hell, crowded as hell, and they don't smell good, okay? And that's because up until before COVID, the subways basically never got cleaned. We literally just didn't clean them. Like, the nice subway stations and the nice train stations that we compare, like, the US to, or, like, we compare, like, New York trains to, for example, the Japanese trains or the Chinese trains, or the stations. Guess what? Those stations are nice and clean because they actually get cleaned every day. We don't fucking clean ours. The World Trade Center, or sorry, World Trade is very nice. Fulton. I mean, you can look at a Penn Station. Like, Penn Station is really nice. Guess what? Because it gets like managed and it actually gets cleaned. It's also probably really expensive to rent out. There's a ton of empty space outside the subway too. What about that? Yeah. Again, it's also really fucking crowded and hot down there. I don't want to spend more time than I have to.
Maybe because like you got 52 stores there, 150 stores that they're not what do you call it? Not doing business, or 140. There's at least probably 3 people that work in that store. That's like almost like 500 people that they don't have a job now. You see how this happens? Like there's like a cascade effect. Not paying taxes. Yeah, massive cascade.
We've got hundreds of empty kiosks like the one behind me, which makes sense. This is not a great environment to do anything. It's not even a great environment to get on the train, let alone spend money. At least they've gotten around to reopening some of the bathrooms that have been closed for the last 4 years.
Jesus.
That's a good start. And with the high levels of crime and the constant militarization of this environment, it's hard to think of who wants to have lunch in a place like this or buy something expensive. But it's not just this incredibly dilapidated station which is having these types of retail problems. No, in fact, even one of the nicest subway terminals in the entire system, which is located down on Fulton Street, has a similar problem. That facility cost over $1 billion to build. It's designed as both
zombie. Anybody can be homeless tomorrow. Hope you don't like being called zombies. Yeah, people can be homeless, and it's actually there's a lot of people that could be, but like I'm talking about people that
Would you spend more time
I
on
don't
the
think that
subway if they
anybody
had
really
more
has a
mold?
problem with.
You can be honest.
Don't get me started on New York City bathrooms. Lived here for a while and I've never seen one public bathroom. Yeah. But like the thing is, I might be New York brained on this. I don't see the problem. Like I think that there should be public bathrooms and like, obviously I've never been to Europe, but they seem to have public bathrooms that seem cool. But I've never run into a problem because you can just like walk into most stores and use the bathroom. Like there's a Starbucks on every other corner, right? Like, you just walk down one block and there's a place that you can use the bathroom at. Starbucks has a code in that shit. Yeah, you just buy, like, the cheapest item for, like, $1. And now you forever have the code for that particular bathroom.
Somebody who's homeless, who's trying to just kind of get by and, like, get a little bit of money. But the issue is that a lot of these people are on drugs and they can sometimes be violent. I think that's really what the issue is. That's obviously what the problem. Like, I mean, I think really, like, we're not talking about like some guy that like got fired from his job and lost his house. We're talking about people that are like, you know, mentally ill, violent drug addicts that potentially steal things. Yeah, I mean, like that. I feel like you like don't act like these are. It's all the same. It's not all the same. If I was homeless for a long time, I'd consider drugs. Okay, I mean that doesn't have to like. All right, well, yeah, but if you're on drugs and you're making other people unsafe, then like one person shouldn't be allowed.
No retort. No retort. He missed the point completely, and then he had no retort to it. The point being, hey, if your life sucks so bad that you're homeless and you've been homeless for potentially months or years, you're not gonna want to be sober. People don't want to be sober for like going and meeting like their family members. They're like, oh no, fuck, I hate my in-laws. No, I don't want to hang out with these. Oh, no, I hate my aunts. People show up to Thanksgiving and immediately get drunk because they can't handle their families. But like when he gets when the idea gets proposed that maybe people don't want to be homeless and sober,
Asmon
it's
talks
like
a lot of shit for a guy who lives in a dumpster.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I barely want to be sober for breakfast. Yeah, buddy, I don't want to be sober to get through a work day.
Allowed to endanger 100 people. That's not the way. You can't make a world.
Also,
like
it's
that.
such a fundamentally incorrect position about what drugs do to your brain. Like it's so obvious that he doesn't even know what, like, again, drugs do to you or your brain. Like, you are not a danger to other people because you are not necessarily a danger to other people because you are abusing a drug. Like, it's not like you do one fentanyl and now you want to go stab somebody. Like, that's not You only think that if you have no understanding of drugs.
You can't have any sort of like you can't have any security there. I'll be honest, I hate seeing homeless people standing in corners begging for money. To me, it's just gross, lowers the appeal of the area, makes it seem dirty. Yeah, of course it does. Yeah, most people hate homeless people. Actually, they don't hate them, but they just would rather see them not around.
Most people hate homeless people. It's very sad, actually. It's very sad. A lot of homeless people in the country aren't even the ones that you see on the street. That's the end stage of being homeless for a long time. Most people that are homeless live in their cars or sleep on a friend's couch.
Like, I think if you gave somebody...
Like these like videos of these like evil homeless people wearing like a Skittles box as a hat. Those are people who have been homeless for a lot of years, for many years. And the problem is that especially if you become homeless young and you aren't able to like bounce back, you are denied all of the opportunities that would make your life easier to bounce back from. So a lot of, for example, queer children who are ousted from their house for being gay or trans that end up being homeless at like 16, 17, then eventually 18, you're never able to solve the problem of a lack of employment because you're never given the opportunity to, for example, seek higher education or get your GED or seek any employment because you're constantly like at rock bottom.
The button to, you know, shoot all the homeless people to the moon, right? Or just not even shoot them to the moon, just to relocate them, get rid of them, right? Not kill them, just get rid of them. I think 80% of people would hit that button. Probably more.
Mall and a transit hub, yet the mall portion is entirely empty. All of the stores are closed, and the mall giant Westfield that was leasing it from the city is in the process of canceling and breaking their lease because they say the city hasn't maintained a crime-free, safe environment to try and lease out stores. And that makes sense. Anybody who spends more than 5 minutes down here understands how quickly they need to get out of here and move on with their day. And certainly, who's going to pull out their wallet or purse to buy?
Somebody said it's a homeless person. It's like begging for money. It's like a subathon. That's good, man. That's real good.
Something expensive if they think something bad might happen to them while they're doing that. But to make matters worse, even the police.
Yeah, I'm for making fun of streamers by, like, for example, calling them e-beggars, because I do think that that's funny. Like degrading streamers, I think that that's funny. Their life is good enough. We're allowed to make fun of them. The other way around, I don't like as much.
Police commissioner has mentioned that she has safety issues with this place as well and doesn't think it's safe enough for her family.
I have 2 young boys. They're 9 and 13. I don't want my boys walking around that. I don't feel they're safe when we see that. So that's what this program.
Yes, show us. What is it? It's the police commissioner? Yes. Yes. They couldn't find a single person that gave a fuck, so they had to pull up the fucking police commissioner to make somebody look like a Karen. Yes. I fucking hate the guy that's doing this video. I don't know if I mentioned, but what the fuck is this guy's haircut? Yeah, the guy in the video that's making the video, he's got like a fucking bowl cut, dude. Should tell you everything you need to know about him.
Is designed to do.
Brian Stead is the deputy.
Okay. If you're at the point where you're making a video about concern trolling about homeless people and needing to send them to fucking jail, repping this bowl cut, dude, it's tough for you.
Okay, if this subway is not safe enough for the police commissioner, I'm not sure who it's safe enough for. Yet it's welcome news to many that the city finally seems to be doing something down here about this environment to make it safer for everybody, including those who are in need. And you know, I don't think any of us want to hear at this point that they don't have the money to go about doing this.
As agency cries poverty, pushes for congestion pricing. This is just, bro, like, wasting $1 million. The psychology of fare beaters. Yeah, people, it's simple. If you think you can...
The New York Post, incredible. Yes. Legitimate source, the New York Post, very respectable source. Every New Yorker knows that you can trust the articles that come from the New York Post, correct? Yes.
Get money. If you think you can steal something, more people are going to steal it. That's it. It's that simple. So if you think you can get away with it, people are going to do it.
They're wasting millions on all kinds of
This dude's actually a fucking hack. Rob did a great video on how he's a prick.
bizarre things, like a study to examine the psychology of those who don't want to pay to use this place. And speaking of losing money, this article says that the subway itself is losing $800 million a year, which is higher than prior estimates to people who evade the fare. Oddly, that number is just $200 million less.
The thing that's so infuriating about this shit is like, it's just such a misunderstanding on what public goods are supposed to do. It would be like saying Social Security loses us millions every year. What? What are you talking about? It's not supposed to generate profit. It's supposed to be beneficial to the people who are currently living with us today. We're supposed to pay tax dollars in and get something out of it that's useful and beneficial for everyone. Huh?
Then the $1 billion, their congestion pricing scheme, which is going to tax cars, needs to generate by law to even be in place.
So like now people with cars have to pay more because there's a crackhead on the subway that doesn't want to pay the money? That doesn't really seem very fair to me. Yeah, it seems like a bit of bullshit to me.
I think that that's actually good. I think actually that's good. I think people who can't afford the fare shouldn't be forced to pay more. And I think people who can afford the fare should subsidize it for the people who are poorer. Actually.
I don't know about that.
In the first place. And what this essentially means is that if you have a car, you will now be subsidizing crime and lawlessness down here in the subway itself. What a beautiful system.
5,600 people made contact. 1,700 were placed. Is the discrepancy there people who didn't want help, or are there not spaces for them?
No, there are spaces for them, in fact. And people do have a right to say no. The mayor says they don't have a right to be sleeping in the subway system. So what they do is they just move on. They get out.
So apparently the city...
I like that it cut off right there. Move on where? What do you think they do after that, huh?
does
then
have
what?
facilities that are set up for folks who might be down here and think that this is the only place they can stay. But apparently those facilities remain empty because a lot of the people down here don't want to use them, which brings us back to the start of this video where folks like...
Even more of a lack of understanding about shelters. It's just, it's the problem is that it's a lot of people who've just never spoken to anyone who's been homeless, has never done any outreach or mutual aid for anyone who has either been homeless or is approaching homelessness, has never talked. Like, it's just, why do you think it is that people don't want to go to shelters? Because they'd rather be in a train. They'd rather sleep somewhere where the trains are loud as shit just for funsies. It's almost like there are other reasons. Someone in chat had a very good chat message earlier about it, but I fucking lost it. Like a fool. See if I can pull it up. This chat message. He's an idiot. The reason most people don't want to go to shelters is 1, they don't let you bring that many things in. 2, you sleep on the floor half the time. And what valuable, important documents you do have are likely to be stolen. 3, there's a lot of pests, bed bugs, lice, and other problems like norovirus and flu in the winter. 4, you can't bring any pets. 5, people get assaulted or sexual assaulted all the time. Like, there's a reason that these shelters are not constantly at capacity. It's almost like they're not safe places to be. Oh, and the other thing as well is that I know they have very strict like check-in and check-out times for shelters. So like if you're not in the shelter by I don't remember like the particular hours of the shelters in New York, but I know a lot of shelters it's like you have to be in by like 7 p.m. And if you're not, then you're not allowed to check in. You have to spend the rest of the night out on the street. It's like it's not made for people. It's made for like one very select group that is down on their luck and has nothing and also has nothing to lose and also doesn't mind being somewhere where they might get assaulted where no one will do anything, or they might be robbed, or they might get infected with fucking lice. Also, the ones in California, they're always full. Good luck getting in one, even if you really, really need it. Along with it not being safe. Yeah. And it's like, this is so baby brain to me. It's like, you really are going to like make a video where you look me in the eyes and tell me that the homeless people are dumb and stupid because they'd rather sleep in the train stations? Like, are we, this is the journalism on display right now? Are you fucking kidding me? There is a fundamental difference between a shelter and housing first. Housing first requires that each resident get their own space with their own bathroom, with their own bed, with their own door. That you cannot truly recover from homelessness unless you have a space where you feel safe in that is yours. Shelters are not like this. They are giant rooms where you are not safe at all, where you don't have a door that you can close, where there is no staff that cares about your well-being. There's a staff that's there to like do the bare minimum because they probably don't get paid very much to do anything. But like, if you don't understand the difference between sleeping in a giant cell with a bunch of other people where there's no privacy and having your own room, like I don't even know, like I don't even know where to go from there.
LB City Mohammed chat in Denims.
Yes, Steve, thank you for the 4 months. Casual Cupcake, welcome back.
The mayor are saying that interventions need to be allowed because people aren't taking the helping hand that is being offered to them. And of course, this once again raises debate over what's humane and what's not humane. Should people...
What's inhumane is allowing everybody else in the subway to be in danger. That's what's inhumane.
A full year of following this promoted streamer SMH.
This is not happening, dude. This is not happening. True Moon, thank you for the 12 months. You are literally more likely to be a victim of homicide in 34 other states. The homeless people, they can shoot bullets out of their fingers. Their skin is toxic. Their hair cuts your skin like cake. It just... Considering I was homeless 2 times in the past 5 years, I can answer a lot of questions about this. I mean, I feel like a lot of questions about being homeless can get answered if you just think about it for a second and recognize, what would I do if I was homeless? And what would help me if I was homeless? Doink, thank you for the tier 1. He continues to emphasize how necessary it is to touch grass. Yeah. Provide housing to the homeless. No more homeless problem solved. But they have to earn it. It's not fair that the homeless people get to get their housing for free.
Like, the thing is, like, if you're thinking about just the people that are in this situation, those aren't the only people that are in the subway. That's absolute bullshit. Yeah, exactly, right? And so that's terrible. That's what they do. And so, like, it's very easy to say, like, oh, well, I'm trying to help these people. Yeah. You have no idea how bad it is in Vancouver now? Yeah, well, Vancouver's another place where it's expensive as fuck to live there, right? And so, yeah. This is all related to the healthcare industry and how its for-profit system is failing humanity. I think that, like, I mean, there's like 50 reasons for this. I mean, that might be one of them, but that's it. But yeah, treat them like people. That's a good start. Well, I mean, they are being treated like people. But the thing is that, like, as I said before, like, my viewpoint with any of this is that your primary and, like, your first...
You just thought it was based to tell them that they're not allowed to stay in the subway. That's treating them like they're less than people.
Like, goal, your first order of operation should be making sure that the people that are, like, not breaking the law and that are doing the right thing, that they're safe. And if you're not achieving that goal as your first order of operations, you're doing the wrong thing. Like, prioritizing the well-being of criminals and people that are endangering other people is completely, in my opinion, wrong-headed.
Wrong-headed.
Who have nowhere else to go or can't get to one of these welfare centers really be treated in a manner that forces them to move along?
Prioritizing the criminals, guys. Their crime, being poor. Have they tried earning an honest living? By playing WoW for 12 hours a day and shitting on DEI woke games? Maybe then they'd have a home. Yeah, I bet you guys didn't fucking think about it that way, did you? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Or is it possible that the city's care facilities are so unsafe and so dangerous that many folks are better off not using them? Because there have definitely been widespread reports that some of these care facilities are not exactly caring and the workers are rather rough on the guests, which makes sense why people might not want to go there either. And the timing of this new effort to help the homeless no longer live in the subway cannot be a coincidence.
This is ban all COVID deniers then? Yeah, I know, you typed that twice. I didn't read it the first time because it was retarded. And now I read it, you can stop typing it. That's not even the same thing. It's not even remotely close. You're just being a retard. Shut up.
This humanitarian disaster has been taking place beneath our streets for a long time, and this is the first time anything's being done to help the less fortunate move to a place that might be better suited to them. What do you think about that? Are the city's plans to help the homeless in the subway itself a coincidence? Is this something that they were planning on doing all along? And are they good plans? Is it a good thing to help someone move out of the subway if they truly think this is the only place that there is for them? Let me know what you think about that. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.
Yep. No, I think this is a huge issue. And I think it's an issue everywhere. And I think that the homeless issue is probably a great indicator. It's like one of those things where I was saying, like, this is the example of the kinds of people that think that they're helping. They think this is a good thing. That's it. It's a Tuesday. Yeah, these are people.
Compared to the alternative of making homeless people sleeping in the subway illegal and jailing them for it, yes. You got me. Caught. I don't think arresting homeless people for sleeping in the subway is good. Yep. Sorry. Caught.
People like and I think also with a lot of these people too, they never have to live with the consequences of their own altruism. And so, like, a lot of them, they think that it's like, oh, well, you know, you can just let them live that way. And, you know.
Also, nobody. This is very, yes. Nobody who said, quote, just leave them alone and nothing else was presented in this video. It was just people say ... yes. Well, because they have to invent a person to get mad at, right? He has to pretend like people are saying this stuff that they're not saying to make it look more ridiculous, because God forbid you empathize with people that are homeless.
Oh, it's fine. It's not that bad. You know, it's like, well, how do you know it's not that bad? Like, or you're not there. And so I think that's like another really big issue, right? It's everyone's tough. They're all affected. Yeah, I think so too.
Do anyone want to see the comments on this?
The problem is human nature and how people don't like to ask for help even though they're suffering. I would say that, like, I mean, you want to talk about like asking for help or whatever. The main issue is crime studies have shown ramping up police presence lowers crime drastically from a physiological standpoint. Most people commit crime because they think they won't get caught. Yeah, of course. Obviously, that's true. Actually, building affordable housing might help, but I guess appeasing NIMBYs is more important. Well, if you want to build affordable housing, obviously that helps. But the truth is that if you're building affordable housing to put these people in, you're also doing that at the expense of the people that are also paying into the system and can barely make ends meet on their own. So, like, it's basically like the way that I look at it is I try to help the people that try to help themselves the most.
How are you helping them? What do you mean I try to help them? What have you done to help anyone? What are you fucking talking about? What are you talking about?
And then after that's done, then we see what's left over. Like that.
Oh my God. Oh, dude, the comments are brutal in here. We should stop giving money to other countries and take care of our people first. Fun fact, New York has 137 homeless shelters with over 140,000 beds. They have more beds than they have homeless people. Homeless people can't drink or do their drugs, and so the majority of them avoid homeless shelters. It can't possibly be because the homeless shelters aren't safe. It can't possibly be that the homeless shelters aren't clean. It can't possibly be that things are constantly stolen in homeless shelters. Can't possibly be that there's strict check-in and check-out times. It can't possibly be that people can't bring their pets. It has to be that everyone is drug-addled and therefore they should die. That has to be the correct answer. This guy is not a New Yorker. Imagine thinking about how much you pay in taxes for the homeless and the subway while you step over trash while getting on the subway and trying to find a place to sit, but you can't sit because some homeless person's laying down on 3 seats, nodding out, while another homeless guy rants to himself an opposite seat. I'm a left-leaner, but too many on the left have lost their heads with all this sympathy for the homeless and not at all considering productive everyday New Yorkers working every day and paying ... You've never been to New York, sir. You've literally never been to New York. I'm telling you for a fact, when it comes to trains, the annoying thing is the people who, make a scene and get in your face. Nobody, I promise you, nobody gets mad, and I've never seen it happen, ever. Nobody has ever gotten mad at a homeless person sleeping. Because you want to know why? The homeless person sleeping isn't bothering anybody. They're just sleeping. Way more annoying is sometimes there'll be like performers, and the performers, like, I've seen them accidentally hit people. That's annoying. That's really annoying. People get really mad about that stuff. Nobody gets mad about the homeless person sleeping. I promise you. There's not a single person in New York that's upset about the homeless person sleeping. That's not true. The cops regularly get mad at homeless people. Oh yeah, but cops are they really even people? Like, let's just be real for a second. Just be real. So, A very balanced take here, thanks. I'm going to give the short version of the story. I live in a small town and very rural area. We had a member of the community with mental illness who acts aggressively towards women and young girls. He was out of confinement for about 3 weeks before multiple community members intervened against him for harassing women. None of the citizens were put in legal jeopardy, and the police arrested him after shooting out his car tires upon his attempted escape, and now he's back on jail. Tolerating public mental illness isn't kind, and it is in fact not tolerated in the majority of small communities in the U.S. By the way, there's plenty of odd and eccentric people in the community who aren't harmful and no one bothers them. What the fuck are you talking about, dude? Guy who just really wants to share his story. Anyways, here's the story that's not related at all to what you're talking about.
That's, I think, how you can, like, that's the best system that you can have, in my opinion. I think that's the most ethical and fair system. So raise taxes on rich? Well, that, I mean, of course, right? But, like, it costs less money. Yeah, they don't want help. I mean, some of them don't. Some of them do. I mean, it's a mixed bag, right? It obviously is. It's a mental health care and housing issue. Most mental health care has been dismantled all over the world. Yeah, I think there's definitely that too. Yeah, you're 100% right. Building more housing helps people who are struggling to make ends meet as it lowers pressure on housing prices. Yeah, I mean, like, with New York, it's probably hard to do because, like, you know, it's already, like, so developed at the same point. But, yeah. And I think this is going to be universal basic income. Can't come soon enough. No, there'll be people with universal basic income that'll waste all of their money on drugs and they'll still be living in the subway. It's because some people are just stupid. And they're stupid, they're bad with money, they're impulsive, and they don't think. And, like, you know, some people, it's just way fewer, though. Yeah, there's definitely going to be less of them. This is a really good video, though. It is. There's also the anti-homeless architecture. Well, I mean, you got to go and get them yourself, right? You can't just rely on a bench to do it. So we're blaming left-wingers today? No, it's not really about blaming anybody from left-wing. I think in general, like, it's the government's fault. It's not like a left-wing or right-wing problem. It's everybody's problem. So yeah, hostile benches suck for everyone. Yeah, I think that the anti-homeless architecture is stupid. Because, like, you shouldn't need anti-homeless architecture because you shouldn't have homeless people sleeping on the shit to begin with. And, like, so if you make it to where, like, if they're doing it, you get rid of them. You don't need to have these, like, weird contrived systems.
Ah, the mold roller coaster.
So, like, yeah, that's the way that I see it. That's what makes more sense to me. Give me 1 second. Shit. Ah.
I need someone to do this to, like, my brain. Like, this is what my brain looks like after that video, and I need someone to do this to it. I need this, dude. Yes. Yes. I bet this feels so good for the car. Dude, I bet this feels so good for the car. Yes. What's he spraying it with? He's spraying it with some stuff. Need car tips from an old wise grease monkey? I got you. My car always smells like Christmas. Dude, that's dope. Okay. Let's skip ahead a little. Okay, he's putting the... Okay. How are the electronics fine? They aren't? LOL. This is my brain after an Asmongold video. This is my brain 30 days of no mold. Yes! Yes! Power wash those leaves, dude. Meat of Venom's ass.